Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Bleak. I'm your host Harry, and of course, to my left, or no, sorry, to my right, the
On
co-host.
my screen, I'm above you, bro. There's no directions. There's complete fucking chaos.
Oh, okay, well, going up there then. So,
Yeah. Our sense of direction has been fucking fleeced by Jesus, apparently. So that's what's happening today, you know. But because we're running out of funny and interesting things to say, I'm just gonna go off shit that I like now because fuck all y'all. What do y'all think?
gee,
To all the five people who watch slash listen to this, what do y'all think about animation? I think it's pretty cool. I think it's kind of neat. I like do stuff in my spare time. That's like my college course. It's kind of fun. I hope I can make it a living out of it, but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to because I'm 9 times out of 10 too busy doom scrolling on my phone. But it's going okay so far. I think I can clutch. I think I can clutch college, if only barely. Yeah.
well, I mean, how, like typical, like, sort of drawing, like, foundations, like, how you draw and, like, how best way to go about things, is it like a foundation course?
Kinda, yeah. It's like yeah, it's a PLC. So I don't know if whoever depends on where you're listening to this from. PLC, it's basically like if you do shit in the Irish equivalent of like high school and you don't get like you don't do amazing in your exam, you still pass, but it's not really like enough to go where you want to go for like college or shit. You do this thing. Hopefully you don't like do absolutely nothing, which I'm kind of doing that right now anyway. But you work at that, and then you basically get into college through that. My one's like an animation one. It's pretty nice. It's mostly like what Harry said. It's like foundation stuff. Like it's just mostly like drawing, like the basic principles, and then
Literally just there to help you. That's,
yeah.
like, cause, like,
I will say though, there's
it's
like a
like,
bunch of stuff that they do in the course
that's
that
of no
isn't really.
relevance.
Yeah, it's no relevance. I'm just wondering why we do it.
Let me guess. They're asking you to write up a CV, or they're
Yeah.
asking you to write. Uh, they're just not. Is any history involved or no?
No, not
No.
really. No, none at all actually.
Any word stuff?
Like Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's like pretty much every day. Well, not every day, but most is like a fair part of the week is like you just like type up shit. There's more Word than PowerPoint actually. I'd argue. Well, actually no, I don't know what I'm talking about. There's infinitely more PowerPoint than Word. I just like saying words. Yeah. Well, like,
And you say that you're struggling with. Actually, that's like what relevance is Premiere Pro to like I guess I guess that it's all about wanting to edit
yeah,
the animation and shit, but like that's
yeah,
more for filmmaking, obviously.
yeah. I guess it's like in terms of like editing and like maybe like like submitting it and exporting like the file of the animation. I suppose Premiere would be useful. But they got us using like Audition as well, and not in like the context of like producing an animation. Like that's in terms of like radio production and shit. I'm just like it's useful for like some like the podcast like here, but like outside of that, like how is this gonna help me make a business out of producing Scribblio homers and then selling them on the black market for 350 a piece?
May
Like I don't.
maybe voice acting possibility, but cause
I
like
guess.
cause like synchronizing voice acting with animation, I can't imagine how hard that would be.
Actually, yeah. Okay, all right. I'll give it that. Actually, yeah, to be fair, with the exception of like there's like this communications module we have to do, and then there's like the fucking the CV module basically. Aside from those two, most of them you can argue there's at least some callback to animation. Like even the 3D one. Yeah.
So like I keep getting like different answers. Do they do the voice acting first or the animation first? And it's like, oh yeah, they do the voice acting, so therefore they can mark out exactly when to animate the mouth. Or then there's animation, and then the voice actors have to like get it pinpoint exactly. So it's like there's no real
I'd say
answer
it's
unless if I was to ask an animation person about.
yeah. I wouldn't even be like I'm not even like the most qualified. Like that like I say I'm an amateur. Like I'm if there's a rank below amateur, I'm probably that. I would say for the sake of convenience, it's probably you do the voice acting first and then you draw around that. I would say that's probably what you have to do because voice acting in timing with the drawing, it would probably It could be easier, but I wouldn't think it would be. It would just seem like a bit awkward for the actors, and like maybe the delivery would be awkward. It might not match up as well.
Imagine how it would have been a long time ago before computers to make films existed. Like you
Oh
have
yeah,
the director and well, it's not off topic here, but the director and the score producer, like
yeah.
you have to really work there to see how exactly to do the score correctly because unlike
Hmm.
today where you can just watch the film and then think of how to do the score, I
Hmm.
can't I can't imagine how hard it must have been.
Yeah, because back then we at least have like the affordability, just like the ease of use of technology, where we could. It probably is easier to sync shit up. Like you can literally go like frame by frame. You can do. You have the luxury of basically doing shit pre-recorded. Back then, you had to get it in the one go. So if you fuck up, like you're fucking the
You fucked
director's
the
probably
whole
gonna
thing
come.
up, yeah.
Yeah, the director's gonna come over with a fucking put a paper bag over your head, beat you to death with the blunt out of an axe because that was like the one fucking take they had or some
I
shit.
mean that's still a thing. Like if you fuck up one thing, you fuck up the lighting, you fuck up the sound, then the whole thing's fucked.
Yeah. Like, okay, don't get me wrong. It's still like there's the same sort of problems remain, but like they're far more manageable. Like rather than having to need a guy on like fucking managing like one guy for each thing to be managed at all times, you can kind of just like sort of adjust everything from like a control panel, like sound and lighting, and just like the general video and all the audio quality shit. You could probably do that from one. I mean, sure, you worked at like a sound thing, like a sound place for a while, like rigging up shit for like a
Yeah,
bit.
cabs, yeah.
Yeah. So like you like yeah you'd know like you'd be able to like adjust most of like that sort of shit like video and audio from like just like the one sort of thing. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
to like
I
spread yourself
I
thin.
I learned stuff that probably won't even be used often in film studios anymore. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact they do in the school we went to, secondary school.
Oh yeah.
The one
Yeah.
place you sorry not love, but the one place you love and
Yeah.
hate.
Hate. Let me tell you about
Cause
some
like
folks.
yeah no, cause like when you were doing when you and George were doing the musicals, like the
Yeah.
microphones, what were they hooked up to? They were hooked up to like machines that
Yeah.
were done by frequencies.
Yeah. And then they like strap the thing
And
onto you.
I know that because I the company who set them up are right next to cabs,
Yeah.
and they're called One Letter Sound. So
Nice.
that's how I know.
Sick.
Um,
Yeah. It's like a lot of inconveniences though that you don't think like are apparent, like you don't think they would exist until you actually try doing them in animation. Like there's like a lot of shit like you think drawing someone is like a very easy thing to do. Like
no,
you can do it like you do like a crap job like pretty easy, like get it done in a few seconds, like a stick figure or just like some blob or shit. But if you want it to look good, that shit is like way harder than this. It's not even like someone like the more bigger shit. Like obviously there's like like pose. Like you got to make sure that shit looks dynamic. You got to make sure the body looks like a body. Everything's on the right side. Everything's the right sort of dimension. You don't have a head that's like too much forehead or too little forehead. And then there's like this, but it's like the small shit. Like hands are like really hard to draw. Like I don't know why. Like I think the only
yeah,
thing,
they are. I can never get proportions right.
yeah, the only thing I think I struggle more with than hands is like I think lips and then feet. And I guess like sometimes the eyes and like eyelids they can be a bit iffy, but like they're easy to do than this shit. Like it doesn't even look like it would be that hard, but like getting like the exact angle and perspective right is so fucking stupidly hard. Like way harder than it realistically probably should be. I mean, it'd probably be easier if I actually did some work. But
Like,
like it's just like damn.
and do you ever come across artists like who might be very good, but they can do one simple thing and people are like, "Oh my god, that's very good." Because
Yeah,
back in school, we were shown this painting that was being sold for 44 million euro,
yeah,
and that's it. That's the
bro.
painting.
Yeah,
It's literally just one white line down the middle with different gradients of the color blue, mostly dark blue. Um,
yeah. Look,
maybe
I'll say like it's a good use of color, but I'm just thinking there's so many fucking like paintings and shit where it's just like grids of like colors and stuff. It's like okay, yeah, it looks nice, but like this ain't like worth a few million. This ain't even worth like a few thousand. I'd say at most this is like maybe like $50 or something, man. Like I'm like,
and
well,
like
like I
and I
a lot
definitely
of it
don't
is just
think
envy.
and I definitely don't think the price or sorry the canvas justifies it either.
Yeah, like, it's just like like in a way it's kind of envious because like there are people out there who've managed to make literal like millions, like somewhere close to billions, from like just like mass producing like these things where it's just like
I
IS square.
I literally do paintings of like let's say uh maybe the size of our TV, obviously portrait mode. I
Yeah.
gonna get a painting in that size in school, and I'm sure
Hmm.
that'll be worth like what 200, 300, 400.
Damn, really?
Well, it could be, but like
Sick. That's
but
my sort of
again,
problem
and
though.
like that painting I showed there, the one with the gradient of blue and the white line, like that's barely bigger than that,
Yeah.
and it's still costing 44 million.
Yeah. I think the sort of main problem with art is that it's so subjective. You can't really get a straight sort of opinion anywhere.
Yeah.
Like even some of the more like revered pieces, like you still have a lot of like a lot of people saying like in disagreement. Like I still think for the amount of talk like the Mona Lisa gets, like, oh, it's like one of the most important pieces in all of art, and it's like, this is like this sort of like this is the sort of fucking coup de grace, like the godfather of all like fucking artistic merit. And then like a load of art people I know, they just look at it, it's like, oh, bro, I honestly I could not give a shit. Like
Yeah,
this is just a waste of time. It's just some bird in the
yeah,
fucking the
yeah,
background.
yeah. Cool. Like anywhere you go to, she can somehow like it somehow feels
Yeah.
like she's always look at you, but like
Yeah, which is still like, okay, that's an impressive thing, but I feel like, but aside from that, what you basically have like it's probably definitely nicer than anything I could ever really put out. But instead of just thinking like all this hype over like, okay, well, it kind of looks like she's following you all the time. I still just think they're just better like paintings out there like from other people. So I just don't see why like we're hyping this thing up. I mean, same with The Godfather. Like I have like me, yeah, sure. Me and Harry tried watching Godfather Part Two. We got as far as the intermission because it genuinely just made us want to die. I don't like you just. I think that's another problem as well. When something has as much hype as that, where it's literally described as this is the ultimatum, this is what everyone should aspire to be, and then you see it, if it sucks even a little bit, the sort of illusions crack, then you can't really enjoy it as much anymore.
uh,
I think that's just sort of the main problem, and I think there's just like a lot of, I think there's a lot of like Irish artists out there. There's just a lot of artists in general who like produce like some really good stuff, and I don't think they're getting as glazed as much as say the Mona Lisa is. Like there's guys working on like indie games with like fucking art styles that I just love. And for like at most like only a few million are talking about it, when like everyone and their mother's like, oh guys, look at the fucking Mona Lisa. She looks like she's watching me. Oh shit, my god! Like just shut up. Go fucking look at the Anton Blast shit, man. That's fucking great. I love that shit. I'd eat that shit up like if it was breakfast. If they made an Anton Blast cereal, I'd eat that every day, bro.
I a year around second or third year,
Yeah.
we were showing images of what's art, and then the last one was just a messy bedroom. That's art apparently.
Wait, like a picture of a like a
A picture,
messy
yeah,
bedroom.
a picture, yeah, of like a duvet, like like as if you just gotten out of bed,
Yeah.
and like it's all just
So like a photograph, literal
yeah,
picture.
yeah, as if someone got out of bed because of how messy
Yeah.
it is. Like,
I, yeah, I swear, people have described like I do believe that online there are people who just think that like certain artists and like investors, it's a money laundering scheme where you'll just have like an artist like whip up something together, like say like the grid painting where it's like the four blocks of like different color. Then the investor comes along, puts all the money in that, and then like it sort of circles around from gallery to gallery. Then you have like all the snobs who I think are hired to be there, and they go like, yes, oh, that's fine, and then like that's just how it works. So they can hide all the drug money, all the trafficking money, and they can hide it. They can launder it through like this art. Because I'm just there's no way that like something like this sort of pop art stuff where it's just like, I don't know, blue, yellow, green, purple on a canvas, and then that makes you fucking millions of dollars. Just how? I'm probably just being really jealous, and I am. But I'm just like, how do you get that much money from that? It looks nice, like you put it on your wall, but you're not you're not shaking the guy's hand and being like, yeah, that's 1.5 million right there.
Would you,
Uh,
have you ever considered commissioning art?
I
Well, on
don't
the
think.
topic, yeah.
Yeah, I've want to do it. Like I think that's like the sort of end goal for me, like to basically become good enough that I can just go on Twitter like, yo, commissions are open if you
I meant,
if
I
you
meant,
want.
I meant
Yeah.
considering you asked for art, not you doing art.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
sorry.
don't know.
You go.
I feel okay. Like I've definitely like thought about it. Like I've seen like some artists who are definitely like really good, and I'd be like, oh, maybe. But I'm just like, I feel like why do that when I could just like dedicate myself eventually to just keep getting better and better until eventually I'm able to just do that for myself, like sort of being like self-reliant on that sort of end. I think, yeah, I could see, like, it's definitely like an interesting thing to think about, but I wouldn't want. I think I'd rather just at least see if I can reach that level first before I'm like, all right, shit, I give up here. Make me a profile picture where it's Homer Simpson or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah, so you know yourself, on probably like half or three quarter. Yeah, probably half of my Twitch streams that I do every now and then. All the people that follow me and compliment my streams, it's the same thing over and over again. Uh, how often do you stream? Do you see yourself doing Twitch as a career? Yeah, we all know where this is going. It's someone gonna ask you to buy artwork and shit.
Yeah.
Which I did at one point, and charged
Like from
me
like,
an astronomical amount, and my dumbass fucking went and did.
uh, damn.
Now, because of that, I assumed that every artist would charge you that much for any kind of art, but I was so wrong. When a friend of mine on a Discord server
Yeah.
recommended me artists that were like, here, you can have this guy give you art for like 60 quid.
Yeah. What was the art
Fuck me.
even of? Like the one that charged you like ridiculous amount?
Twitch art, so like an animated, uh, sort of, it's like an animated intro.
Yeah.
But then again, it looked pretty AI-ish to me.
Damn, really?
Now, now that's a bit of an accusation to make. To me, it looked like it is. I'm not saying it is, but to
Yeah.
me, it looked like it was.
Yeah.
Um, like I've heard some people sort of brag about, oh, you can use fucking all the AI functions on every one of the Adobe, all the Adobe software, and no one will even know.
Yeah. I just like
Adobe is that good.
yeah. I just don't think like AI should be used in the context of producing art. It just shouldn't be.
I only use this stick around. Like on the laptop you're using,
Hmm.
there's now a software called Image Playground, and literally
Yeah.
all you do is put what they have in between, and you can have it drawn in animation style or illustration style,
Yeah.
and
Because I
shit.
just yeah. Well, that's what I mean. Because I feel like half the artistic process is just well, I say half. Pretty much all the artistic process is just you need the human mind for it to work. Because there's just some things that AI can't do. Like it can't think like a human does. It can't have these sort of weird,
That
fucking schizophrenic ass ideas.
that's why Instagram, Twitter, and I think Pinterest. That's why they secretly naggle your artwork.
Uh, yeah, that's the thing. Because AI can only work off what it's sort of being given,
Like
which
like
is
like
yeah,
there's a setting opt in or opt out for the
like
AI to yeah to like have a look at your artwork. Like how do you know that they're sticking to their word?
yeah. Also, yeah, no, like I feel like, oh yeah, I just want to look at it. Yeah, just give me a look at it right here. I just want to look. Like nah, like you're basically just like inviting the vampire in for a fucking cup of tea. Like no, don't fucking do that. Like, it's probably gonna do it anyway, but like you should just say no anyway. You should probably hop off the website if it's asking to look at your shit anyway, because it's just an inevitability. I
I
just don't think that
I
something that is supposed to make our lives easier should do the things that make our lives more fun.
any artwork I've done in the past, which is probably like second, third year, go on Facebook and they're not digital. So it's like,
Yeah.
will AI even be able to pick up on it? I mean,
Yeah.
they'll look and say, nah, your artwork's not worthy enough.
Yeah. That could be, but that's a very interesting thing though, because how do we determine what's like good, like what's good? Because like, okay, I suppose there's a few. It's like a sort of multifaceted problem, because like one, it's like everything's subjective, but there is like a clear line between like what's like good and what's shit. Because I feel like okay, like the person drawing it's gonna be able to think like, right, is this good or is this bad? And like 9 times out of 10, like they'll usually be able to figure out pretty quickly, like, nah, that hand's a bit shit. I'm gonna like try and go over that again. But there's just so many instances where, like, particularly, you know the way you're talking about like the artist, where it's like, oh yes, the two blue squares in the line. Yeah. Now, like to each their own. I think it's just lazy. It's shit. I can't blame him. Like he knows he's gonna make like so much fucking money off it. I can't blame him. But I just think there's nothing there. Like it's just color, and the color looks great, but it's just I couldn't really give a damn. It's just like there's too much hype around this.
Just like a very specific video game company that does the same thing,
Wouldn't know. Wait, which one is that?
Nintendo. Remember? Super Mario 3D All Stars, Pokemon
Oh,
Brilliant Diamond, something
yeah.
Pearl, Shining Pearl. Yeah,
Yeah, I think yeah, that is a thing. Like they just sort of like mass. That's what it
Cool.
is though, because like it's the same thing with pop art. Like that's kind of the whole. I think like a good third of pop art is just being able to like mass produce pieces like that, which is a damn shame because it just I don't know. I think half the battle with art is the effort of it. Like making prints of something and like getting your work out there. There's no problem with that. But if the whole thing is just like do this shit like it's a factory line, it's just a bit. It just leaves a bad taste in your mouth, especially when it
it,
comes to video games.
it's like Avatar 2. The best example to use, Avatar 2. The CGI is phenomenal, the story shit, but I know you're gonna go see it anyway.
Yeah, like yeah, it does look. I think yeah, there's a thing where like it can look great, but if it doesn't really tickle that part of your brain, you couldn't really give a shit. I think I think that the best example I can think of is I think I'm thinking of the wrong guy, but there's this one Irish artist, and I think his I don't. I'm gonna say Sean Scully. It's probably not Sean Scully, but I'm just gonna say it is anyway because it's easier on my brain. And he made this one piece called like Men of the West. This is when we were doing because this is when I was doing art history in like sort of fifth and sixth year. I hated that shit, but it allowed me to figure out about this guy, and I love his shit. And one of the pieces he did was like Men of the West, and it was just these three dudes. There's the Irish flag. They're all holding guns, and they all look like cowboys, and they're looking around. And the piece does look very nice. But another thing is the piece also looks very badass. It tickles that fancy. Like a lot of it is just like sort of finding that niche of appealing to your brain. But I'm just gonna say honestly, three lads with the Irish flag sort of waving proudly in the back with them like armed like guns looking like stoic as shit, like it's a Clint Eastwood movie. That's always gonna look infinitely better. Even outside of like a quality thing. Just the subject matter of three lads with guns, like looking out in the distance, it looks like it's like that the old West is gonna look 10 million times better than just blue, white line. You can't beat that.
No, Mario 3D All Stars poorly optimized. Well, it's not too poorly optimized, but
It's poorly optimized. It's like especially considering like for all the shit they gave for like oh no you can't emulate our shit, you can't re-release
uh,
this shit, if I see you trying to fucking download Mario 64 I'll cut your cock off, like with all the shit they gave about like Mario 64, like that Unreal Engine like project, and then they come out and they don't even optimize Mario 64 and Sunshine is somehow worse to play than it was on the fucking GameCube. You did a shit job.
Mario Galaxy wasn't though. It was
Yeah, but
exactly. It was
it's Mario
exactly.
Galaxy. That's
It was.
just one third of it.
I know, but like it plays as it did on the Wii, so
I think the wasn't like the gyroscope a bit finicky though. This is a flashlight.
not really. Um, but yeah, no, like people gave out yards about 3D All Stars. They still let him go out anyway. Some went as
Yeah.
far as to camp outside the stores go.
Yeah, that's like my sort of yeah. That is a problem though. But I suppose that's like a difference between just like blind consumerism. Well, I'd say blinded by nostalgia anyway, and then just like thinking about it. Because I just think, I mean, to be fair though, a lot of people didn't know how bad it was until people started buying it. So a lot of those buys, like they had to figure out, okay, is this good or is this shit? Like a lot of it was still just like, ah, sure, we'll just buy it anyway. It's Mario, you can't go wrong. Well, I think like a lot of people's like, oh, why are people buying this? Like, well, nobody fucking knew it was docked until you started buying it. I think, and then that's like another problem as well, because I would consider video games as one of the highest art forms out there. I would put it like, there's only certain things you can do with video games. Like each art form is valid in their own right. I still think though, for my money, video games in general is probably the best way. It's the most immersive way to get invested in art, and I think it's just the nicest to kind of have. It can be cheaper than the alternatives.
I think, in terms of video games that have the best form of art style. So, in VR, there was a game called Before Your Eyes. Very upsetting game, but the art style very simple but very nice to look at.
Hmm.
Uh, Regular video game, that's a bit of a tough one, but I would say mix between Stardew Valley or Mario Galaxy, literally.
Yeah, they do look fucking amazing. That's the thing though, because like I've actually like during I think this was fifth year, I wrote like a sort of like a little bit of a thesis on why video games are the best art form. And I just think it combines every sort of little thing. Like depending on the game, you can have like a really strong story. So you can have like your Red Dead's, your God of War, that sort of thing. Or it can maybe be like more like subtle themes and shit. And you can have it be like sort of cinematic as well. And then just like on a visual level, there's so much you can do with it. Like you mentioned Stardew Valley. There's also like Pizza Tower. There's Anton Blast. You got what else you got? Hi-Fi Rush, really fucking good looking. Guilty Gear is amazing. Then there's like then you got like stuff like Limbo and like Inside. I think that's what it was.
Yeah, inside it.
Yeah, and there's so like there's more I could list, but my brain's kind of blanking right now. But there's
Same.
just it looks at least even on like a visual level, video games are just so good, and even just the fact that you can actually interact with them as well is just
What about
peak art form.
Eternites?
Eternite.
Eternites.
Yeah. Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, Eternites. That was pretty good. But I'm not gonna act like it was like the game of the year. Like it was
No,
really
no,
fun.
it definitely wasn't. But it was
Yeah.
nominated on PlayStation Indie Game of the Year.
Yeah, I think it was a very fun game. I wish there was more because I was really getting into it. I feel like it sort of felt a bit rushed, but I'm still glad it came out. The visuals are nice. Combat's really fun. Story is,
Hit and miss.
it's whatever. But like, I was like, it was interesting enough, I suppose. For like, I wasn't thinking like, this is kind of shite. But like, it worked for the most part. Though I still have gripes about like how sort of like the endings could have gone. But fuck it, whatever.
The mobile endings, yeah, they were with.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of a kind of neat idea, but I feel like, well, I think just more so in terms of like, the way like the ending where like you don't get with anybody. Nothing bad really happens. Like that's supposed to be the bad ending,
It's
but it's
still
like,
very bitter though when you end up with no one. That's the thing.
well, yeah, but you're like still friends with everybody, and nobody had to die. So,
Yeah.
is it no? I guess it. Okay, I know it's like-
Okay, yeah. To see your loved one die, okay, that is pretty painful. But like, people,
Yeah, I
they
know
still care for you more.
Yeah, I know it's like the whole quote of like it's better to have loved and then lost or some shit, or it's like grief is the ultimate culmination of love or some shit. But I'm just like, mate, what's the point of me getting invested in this girl/guy and then like I'm with them for like not even a month, and then like they just get fucking assimilated. They just die. They disappear into dust and go into nothing. I'm just like, well, what the fuck's the point of that? Now I'm even more miserable. That's probably worse than just being on your own and never getting with someone. Because now you know exactly what love feels like, and you're never getting that shit back. That's the worst, I think, bro. All I'm saying.
Well, they definitely the people who are in charge of voice acting, they definitely know the art of voice acting.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sure. Most of them worked on Persona. Speaking of which, Persona banger shit. I know most people who hear that words probably think like, oh, that's like
And
the
you
basement dweller game. Pop on that shit, bro.
and
Honestly.
banger art stuff.
Yeah. Oh, like their art stuff. Honestly, no, like art, like Persona looks gorgeous. Like Eternites looks nice, but like Persona is like genuinely, particularly 5. Like Persona 4 is just because it's an older game. There hasn't been any real remasters. It's still a bit rough. Persona 5 Royal looks gorgeous. Persona 3 Reload looks even better. They just look amazing. Plus all the SMT stuff as well. Check that shit out. To all the people listening and watching, if you have free time, like if you have way too much money on your hands and enough time to not know what the fuck you're doing with it, pick up a game. I think there's like this new one called Metaphor, read some bullshit. Like pick an Atlas game up basically. It's the lesson.
You're coming pleased what will be working in the end compared
Exactly.
to this podcast.
Yeah. Oh no, like you think we're fleecing your time and money, motherfucker? Pick up an Atlas game. You will have no time, no money left. There will be nothing. You'll be sitting in your room wondering what the fuck happened. Like it's like a hangover and like a crash from like a drug high or some shit. But anyway.
I've been so I found out about the new Wallace and Gromit movie. I've yet to watch it. Apparently, it's very good.
Damn, really?
About equally as good as The Curse of the Were Rabbit.
Oh, that's high praise.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, Wallace and Gromit is really the only thing that Aardman can turn to because,
Yeah.
like, okay, so Early Man, it was whatever.
It was shit. I can't even remember, but I remember not really.
I do remember it, but like it's a plot that was kind of stupid just from saying it.
Yeah.
And then the Pirates, that was actually pretty good.
Oh, I know, that's like.
And then Wallace and Gromit, you know.
Yeah, peak.
Chicken Run, I didn't really. It was
Yeah,
good,
I
good
didn't even
story.
see the second part.
Is there a second part? Oh,
Yeah, the
sorry,
second-
yeah, sorry. They
That came
released
out
it
like
to
a few
Netflix.
years ago.
Right, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry. It came out. You're right. I don't know
Yeah.
if that. I don't know if that was well received. I'm sure it was. But
Might have been. I don't know.
yeah, so
Ever since they left DreamWorks, they might be doing better.
yeah, wasn't DreamWorks the reason they left?
Yeah, I know. Well, DreamWorks was the reason Aardman was doing shit. I would think. I think it was just the way the sort of management of Aardman by DreamWorks. That's sort of why they just weren't performing well financially. I don't know what happened with Early Man though. Like usually Aardman don't suck with the writing, so I don't know what happened there.
Well, at least Netflix, a somewhat successful streaming company picked them up. So
Yeah,
They
I mean
still have a
Netflix is
chance.
probably dead for it because like Netflix doesn't have that many fucking original things going on for it anymore. They keep canceling most of their shit. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
Whether it's to do with actors, directors, or just subject matter because of modern day thinking.
Sometimes I don't even know why they cancel their shit. Like I remember because they really apparently Big Mouth, which I've seen, it just looks ugly and not in like the enjoyable kind of ugly. It just looks shit. And they glaze the shit out of it. They keep that alive. That's their golden goose for some reason. Yet something like Inside Job, which is this really fucking funny show about like sort of like like the way like like every sort of conspiracy theory and like every like sort of the government's like lizard men or some shit. That's basically the entire show. It's basically just revolves around this one fucking scientist who like works there, is trying to get in charge of everything, and it's just the government's evil as shit. I love the shit out of that, but Netflix canceled it, and I don't know why. It was great. Why did they get rid of it?
Imagine canceling Stranger Things season 5.
Yeah. Like honestly, that's still in the air. Like we're thinking like, oh no, they wouldn't. That just wouldn't make sense. But like, this is Netflix. They canceled bangers left, right, and center. I wouldn't be surprised if they just got rid of the fucking Stranger Things before it could end on its own 2 feet. Despite, I'd say honestly, at this point, Stranger Things is just Netflix's like flagship series.
Yeah, except it's ending this year.
Yeah, well, allegedly.
Anyway, so Aardman, they pretty much have their stuff and it's all good except for Early Man.
Yeah.
And then you have the Lego Movie,
Yeah, the Lego
which I genuinely thought they had gone by stop motion, but then again, I should have taken a better look and like, okay, nah, there's some stuff in there you simply can't achieve from stop motion, so I should have thought more.
It's like some of the faces and the movement, I was thinking like, okay, this looks really great. But this ain't no way this is stop motion, bro.
Yeah, and the lighting in this is like way too artificial, or
Yeah.
well, not too artificial. Is that the right word? Or too digital, or I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. It looks too good for it to be fucking stop motion anyway.
And like
But surely,
they literally made an art engine for it, so
yeah. I think, yeah. I still think there was a fair bit of stop motion though. I don't think it was like a wholly just animated thing. I do think there is some credibility like stop motion. Yeah. I have no way to prove this nor to identify it, but you know, I have faith. That's all I can say.
Lego Movie 1, that was really good. Part 2,
I didn't really give much of a shit about it, to be honest. I watched it and I was just sort of. I always felt like I was waiting for something to happen, even when like in the story shit was happening. I just kept felt like, is this gonna go anywhere anytime soon?
there's a third part in development.
I don't know, bro. I don't know if I'm looking forward to that.
But the Lego Batman movie was good.
Oh, I was fucking. That was straight fire. Yeah.
I didn't see any of the other spin-off Lego films. Well,
Yeah. I think there was only just besides Batman was just Ninjago, wasn't it?
that was mixed, was it? Apparently.
I think so. I don't know. Like I think it's mixed, but it's like more on like the positive side. At least what I think. I don't know. Maybe my YouTube feed's lying to me. I know. Shocker, right? Google would never lie, right, guys?
Oh, it's made the same year as it was made the same year as Batman.
Shit, fuck.
So let's see here. Okay, yeah, it's a mixed bag. 56% for critics and 47 on the audience side. So yeah, a mixed bag.
Mixed.
So I'm probably won't even consider it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like unless like you really like the show, which even then I don't think the movie follows the show at all. I think it does like mostly its own thing. So, like it's not even like if you like the show, you probably won't even get the same amount of enjoyment out of the movie.
The last animated film I saw in cinema was Dogman. That was actually pretty good.
Damn, really?
Yeah, no, I got enjoyment out of the Captain Underpants movie, so I got
Yeah.
enjoyment out of Dogman.
Yeah, I just looked at it and I didn't think I would get the same enjoyment out of it as I would Captain Underpants. I even just think the way like it was sort of marketed, it definitely felt like it almost felt like it was more like an Illumination movie than like a DreamWorks movie, you know?
Kinda, yeah.
I was getting that vibe from it, and I was just like, this
Well-
is not going to be worth my time.
Well, remember, Universal. I don't know if they own Illumination, but obviously they work with them. But Universal do in fact own DreamWorks.
Yeah,
So they have two very good animation studios under their belt. So
yeah.
they're,
They at least
they're
have
sorted.
DreamWorks. Yeah. I just don't think, like, just in general, Illumination as a studio, like, has done so well, which baffles me given that, like, they have, like, one, like, really good movie under their belt, and then, like, a movie I like under their belt. And then the rest is just slop. Like, it's genuine. I don't know if I go as far as to say brain rot, honestly.
Go on. Name what were the slop?
Basically everything in their catalog that isn't the first Despicable Me and I guess the Mario movie. Like The Secret Life of Pets is probably the worst example,
Yeah.
and then Sing is just like pop culture references left, right, and center. I can't even remember what the rest. What the fuck else did Illumination do?
There's the second thing.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like both Sing is just it's just pop culture shit.
Well, I thought the
And-
first one was actually pretty good. I did. Yeah, I did.
Fuck, teach their own, man. Fuck.
Alright, so think of me.
My fucking Minions. I just remembered, man. Fuck that shit, bro.
The second one was an improvement.
Not really.
By a card.
It's-
By a card, it was an improvement.
Yeah, but like that's like saying like you're taking
Oh,
your
okay,
dog
no.
out for a walk, and then the dog the first time it drops like this massive just torrential downpour of diarrhea, and the next time it's just a regular shit. It's like
okay.
that was too bad.
Okay, well think about this, right? I pretty much lost interest halfway through the Minions, but I was still entertained with the second one. What does that say? Like,
It says that the movie was less shit than its predecessor, but it was still
yeah,
shit.
exactly. So
That doesn't. That's my problem, though. Like, you can't say just because something
And-
isn't as bad as
Yeah.
what came before does not automatically mean
And,
it's good.
and because of that, there's a third part coming.
Fuck's. Ah, yeah, because fucking Harry, fucking Michael Francis found the second Minions movie so like slightly less shit than the first one. They're like, oh,
It's still-
fuck, one
it's
guy
still-
liked it, kind of, not really.
It still made a shit ton. Like, hey, let's see. And the reviews itself are still really good. Like, both audience and critics. So, let's see. You need to remember, Daniel, it's the fucking box office that matters to companies more than anything. I mean, everyone knows that, but like...
Everyone is wrong except me. Fuck this.
So, yeah, so like budget, 80 to 100 million, box office 940 million.
Almost $1 billion off that shit.
Yeah, nearly $1 billion.
I think the reason I hate Minions so much is just because of the Minions. I genuinely hate them. Like, I feel like once they like grew in popularity, overgrew. I was just like, eh.
Mixed reviews on this movie from critics, but positive on audience side. Let's see how much that film made.
I thought
Nearly
everyone
$1
hated
billion
this movie
again.
before.
A budget, 100 million and box office 969 million, so a little more than Minions 2.
969. Are you fucking shitting me? That was like one. Like, people said they didn't like Despicable Me 3, but people, at least on like my side of the internet echo chamber, like everyone hated. I thought everyone hated Despicable Me 4. What the fuck's going on?
Oh, you won't believe this. For Despicable Me 3, so 75 to 80 million, 1,035. 1,000, yeah, 1,035 billion. Or, I mean, if I'm saying this wrong, 1.35 billion, if that's the right way to say it.
1.35 billion. Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, so yeah.
Why?
Yeah, so people get
Society's brainwashed by those fucking Tic Tacs. I
Oh.
hate Minions.
Oh, and guess what? There's a fifth film coming.
I fuck.
And I guarantee you, it'll make nearly $1 billion again. I guarantee you.
Fuck it. I think the worst part about this is that they succeed with flying colors, even though it's just. I think my problem with Illumination is right. Their movies look nice. Like
Yeah.
the quality is very, very good, but it's just so fucking safe, dude. I don't want safe. Half the reason I fucking spend my day just like fucking glazing the shit out of like shit like Anton Blast and Postal and like shit like Don't Starve. It looks so different and weird, and I fucking love that. Like, Illumination will never take that risk, and they don't have to, because people keep eating it up, because the fucking Minions, they go like, banana, bottom, that was SpongeBob, but you get what I fucking mean. Fucking hate those fucking banana eating pricks.
I was watching. Now, of course, Gareth kicked me out again each and every time I try to watch. I was watching the animated spin-off show of The Boys called The Boys Diabolical, and I was wondering why each episode the art style was different. And then I
I think
realized,
that's kind of the point.
and then because they had different companies or different people do the episodes. And Justin Roiland wrote the second one.
He wrote. Oh, I guess this was like before the whole thing. Yeah. Was it good? The second episode.
Entertaining, to say the least, yeah. The main plot is they're students in the Voss Academy or whatever the fuck it was called, and they're very upset and angry and betrayed that their parents, like after having literally been injected with the compound V or what V, yeah.
Yeah, V.
And then it's like, oh yeah, we don't want you anymore. Fuck off now. And then it's like they all get revenge by killing them in like the most gruesome. I mean, the boy is known for their grotesque and their
that's like the whole thing,
provocative shite, yeah.
Yeah, it's sort of like It's like Postal in a way, but like with like superheroes. It's just the whole point is just like to make it as like absurdly edgy as possible.
I mean,
in that sort of area.
I mean,
they succeeded.
I mean, that termite scene in season 3 or 4 was I will never be able to get that out of my head.
I haven't even seen that yet, bro. I'm going
Uh,
with
uh,
termites.
I couldn't unsee. I can't unsee it after that. Fuck.
It's burned into your retinas.
It's like, what kind of human being thinking stuff like that?
I don't know.
Well, apparently
I mean, that's the thing, though.
Gareth Ennis does. So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, though, generally the more mentally unstable you are, the better art you produce. I mean, that's why, sure, Vincent van Gogh shit is really nice, and, like, he fucking... He was a bit loopy. I think, yeah, the more, like, and same with Salvador Dali as well. Like, he's just, like, they say, oh, he was just really eccentric. Nah, bro, he was on, like, every kind of fucking drugs. He was on all the drugs at once every day of the week.
each and every art he did screams drug.
Yeah, I mean that's what he sort of did though. Like his whole method, at least I think, like I don't know if this like every time he went down to sit down and like do a piece, but like one of his methods was he literally just like sits still with like a spoon like above like a metal can or some shit, and he just wait until he passed out, and then he dropped the spoon on the can, which would like it'd make this big ass clanging sound, and he'd wake up and he'd sort of be all like disorientated and shit, and he'd just start drawing, and that's like the basis for most of his shit. You gotta add it to him, man. He's able to force himself to work. That's something I wish I could fucking do.
Fair play to him. No, I think Starry Night will be my favorite. Like, I know it's very basic, but like,
Yeah.
just seeing stars and night sky.
Yeah. It's kind of hard not to like have that be your favorite Van Gogh piece though, because like one, it's iconic. I think besides like that one self-portrait of him, I haven't seen too much of his work.
Yeah, I
So,
mean,
like-
Starry Night is really the only successful thing he's done.
Yeah, which is a shame because like back then, like he thought that everyone hated his shit, and that's kind of the sort of reason why he was miserable and eventually, just offed himself. Like if he like even like I remember there's like a Doctor Who episode where they travel back in time and they bring him to the present and show him like an exhibit of all his work, and then the fucking I forget what their name is in the fucking gallery. But like the doctor comes in over, it's like, how would you describe Van Gogh's work? And then the curator, yeah, he just basically glazes his work for like a minute, and then Van Gogh gets all fucking teary, just starts hugging the shit out of him. And then the curator's like, "Who the fuck is this guy, bro?"
I just keep him out change.
Yeah, grand. I definitely won't tell him something dodgy. All right, guys. So, Postal, right? You might have heard me talking about that, and you might be wondering, what the actual fuck are you talking about that? Well, Postal, I don't usually have favorites of anything, because 9 times out of 10, I'm usually like indecisive as hell, or I just couldn't be bothered. But in terms of like a favorite franchise, like a favorite thing of all time, I'd say in terms of video games, Postal is probably it, but I'm still not fully decided, but it's probably Postal. Postal is, I was describing it with the boys, and it's basically just take something, like take a very like delicate, extreme sort of taboo topic and just make it as edgy as fuck and just like push it to like dial that shit up to 11. That's what Postal is. The first game, like you might know it if like most, like, I'm guessing like whoever might be listening or watching to this now hasn't a clue as to what Postal is. But you might remember, you might have seen it in memes. The second one, where like the guy in the trench coat, the glass, the orange hair, and he's like, "Would you please sign my petition?" That one. That's the second game. The first game was the sort of isometric shooter, and I really liked it. I played the Redux version though, but I think that's like as a piece of art, that's probably like it's up there with Hotline Miami, Katana Zero. It's a very profound piece of art. As a game, it's kind of dog shit. But like when you're looking at it through the lens of art, it's probably one of the most profound things to do. Probably more so than Hotline Miami and say Katana Zero, because that was sort of more. You kind of felt more of like a thrill of like just mercilessly killing everybody. Which that was probably the point. That was the whole point of like showing like you really like do you like hurting people? That was the message of Hotline Miami, kind of. That it sort of posed that question. But with Postal, it's more real because in the story mode, there's no music, there's no sort of glamour, there's no sort of glory. You're basically playing as the schizophrenic lad, and he goes from point A to point B, basically just killing regular ass people, and it's great for art. I swear I'm not a sociopath.
That sounds like Christmas Massacre.
Yeah, and like Postal too. Like, but like I think the whole thing with Postal 1 was like, how far are you willing to go for fun? Like, are you willing to go like basically crazy? But like Postal 2 is basically just like it's basically like if South Park was a game kind of in terms of its humor, but not like the actual South Park games.
Yeah.
It's really great. Honestly, like, and I think it's even cheaper than any of the Atlas games. So like if you really can't afford Atlas, but you're able to somehow waste your time watching us, pick up Postal. Literally, if you have a Steam account, you can download the first version, like not the Redux, like the original version of Postal 1 for free. Give it a go. You'll genuinely. I'm not gonna say you're gonna like it. It's kind of, it's a bit out there. It's a bit scary, but it's like worth your time. Honestly, I feel like everyone should give it a go at least once.
Sure, with Postal 4 you can piss on people.
Yeah. Well, sure. Like since like Postal 2, you could piss on people. Yeah, that's the thing. Like with Postal, like everything is taken to the extreme. Like there's no sort of holding back. Yeah. I'm just wondering in terms of like I know I probably should have asked this before we started recording. I'm just especially now that we're talking about Postal. I wonder how like important political figures who may have contributed to mass atrocities are we allowed to mention them? Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out is like, oh yeah, one of the main characters in Postal 2 is fucking Osama. You can kick his head around like a football. You can do that, by the way. Best game of all time. Yeah. It might sound like, Dan, this is like the most absurd thing and just like the most edgy, ridiculous piece of crap. How can this be artsy? Trust me, bro. It's peak on God for real. Just check it out. Fucking love that shit, bro. Bro's drawing blanks.
Drawing blanks as always.
Yeah, drawing blanks. I'm shooting blanks. Kill me.
Yeah, I
You can't think of nothing. Fair. I think.
unless you're thinking films, like art, like other than like maybe directing,
Yeah, direct. Okay, all right, shit. All right, directing. I think.
cinematography. Yeah.
Yeah, you never saw Intermission.
Writing. No, I didn't.
Yeah, writing. You didn't see. Yeah. Who do you think? Okay, I feel like this falls fairly under because I've seen like you sort of see this sort of stuff like 20-minute video essays like the diving into the mind of this particular character's psyche. Who do you think? I'm gonna say all right. We'll go for like sort of each medium. Who do you think in like live action movies? Who do you think your favorite villain is, or even just like a villain you really like?
That's a tough one to be honest with you. Alright, well, there is Scar from The Lion King. I know it's a very easy one to list off, but like it's still an example.
Yeah.
Like just being sarcastic and the
all
charm he
sleazy
gives
and
off.
crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me. Hard to say if Gru from Despicable Me would be one.
Yeah, I'd say it'd be like sort of counting Megamind as a villain. Like, you couldn't really. I mean, you can have like a sort of like evil protagonist, but I wouldn't really say he's like the villain. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say in that because then you like sort of get into like it basically become like a whole philosophical, psychological rant of like what exactly counts as a villain. I wouldn't say like Gru isn't really a villain. Like he's definitely the protagonist, and they don't really try and portray him in a villainous light. He's kind of just an asshole for the first part of the first movie, and then I don't know, he just becomes a dad. That's about it.
And then they have a biological kid in the fourth one.
Yeah, it's sort of like comparing like saying like Dr. Doofenshmirtz is like one of the most you sort of rank him alongside like Anton Chigurh or like fucking Judge Holden as like the most evil villains of fiction. He's not really. I guess he's a villain by name and by profession, but he's not like particularly malicious or anything. He's kind of just a goofball. He's like Waluigi, man.
Who's your favorite film composer?
I don't know.
Hans
I don't
Zimmer,
really like
John Williams, Gary Elfman, Ron Carter.
I guess Hans Zimmer. He did like
Harry
all the Kung Fu
Gregson
Panda.
Williams, Rupert Gregson Williams.
You sound like you're listing off
Howard
like different
Shore.
types of. Howard Shore, bro, just spends his time. He just like he goes into his like subterranean bunker.
Sean
goes on
Penn.
Wikipedia. Different film composers. I don't know. I guess Hans Zimmer. He did all like the Kung Fu Panda stuff, and I really like that. So
Or Dominic Lewis.
don't know. I don't know half these people. Dominic Lewis. Next time you're gonna say some shit like
David
fucking,
Buckley.
David Buckley. That sounds like someone who could have been in me fucking maths class. David Buckley. Matthew Jordan.
John
Don't tell me
Murphy.
that's an actual. John Murphy.
No,
That's
that's
a fucking guy. No, that's not real.
no, it is.
John fucking Murphy.
Look
bro.
up Guardians of the Galaxy 3 and check who the music composer is.
Fucking John Murphy, bro. Yeah.
Carter
That's like
Bryan.
that's like
Carter Bates.
Tyler Bates. Oh my god. Yeah, then right next to his cousin Master Bates. Man, I'm fucking.
Thomas Newman.
Oh.
Randy Newman.
Okay, I know Randy Newman. Yeah. Okay.
David Newman.
Not so much. David Newman. John Murphy. It says he's a professional golfer. Look at this shit.
Ron Long. Film composer.
Yeah, John Murphy. Okay. Rugby golf earnings rip. Okay. Film composer.
Yeah.
Film scores.
Same
Okay.
thing.
Oh, he did 28. Okay, he's doing Superman 2025. He's Kick-Ass, Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a lot. What the fuck?
So a lot of good ones under his belt.
What the fuck is all about the Benjamins?
So yeah,
He did
don't worry.
intermission. He did intermission, guys. Never mind. This guy's fucking peak.
Yeah, so don't worry, it's not the John Murphy we all know and love, or we all love and hate. So there you go.
Yeah, you wouldn't get that one. That's an inside joke. Intermission, man, fucking peak.
So
Nice.
yeah, so for me, hard to say who my favorite would be, but I've listened to a lot of good tracks from Brian Tyler, like Transformers 1.
Yeah. Sick. All right. Just because intermission is there, I'm gonna say John Murphy's my new favorite composer, because intermission is a banger. Honestly, again, I know I'm suggesting a lot of shit you should play. I know I'm saying like, okay, play an Atlas game, which will at least take a year, depending on your schedule, and then play a Postal game, which will probably mean you'll have to go to therapy, but also watch intermission because it's really fucking funny. Do it right now. Right now, this second, I command you. Otherwise, we'll imprison you. We'll put you in the cage where we put Seth.
But
We
yeah,
will.
overall,
I will, at least.
overall, Hans Zimmer is the best. Hans Zimmer. Yeah, Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, Hans Zimmer's the best Hans Zimmer.
Oh, Marco Beltrami.
Congrats.
Marco Beltrami, that's another one.
I am man. A man.
Marco Beltrami, another guy.
Marco Beltrami.
Yeah.
My favorite cold cut is pastrami. Yeah. I don't know. Like half of these names I've never heard of until right now. I genuinely can't tell if these are real people or you're just fucking with me. You're just listing as many fucking like you're just going through as many names quickly. Give me
Sean
the names
Carpenter.
of 20 people. Sean Carpenter. Oh, okay, all right, he exists. But this is the problem. It's like gambling. I don't know which is real anymore unless I literally know them before that you say them.
Trust me, they're real. Trust me, bro,
Yeah.
they're real.
Yeah. My source, trust me, dude. On God, bro. Oh my fucking God.
I know, ridiculous. I know too many of them.
Yeah, you know all of them apparently. You fucking you could literally like watch a movie for the first time.
Aaron,
It's like, what
Aaron Cohen.
How do you know all these fuckers? It's literally like me every time I said like, oh wait, I know I said it was done, but like, can I keep going? You're just like, oh wait, shit, yeah, person number 25, number 47, 654. There's no end.
Oh, Julian Knox. That's no one. James Corner. That's no one. He did Titanic as well. He did Titanic and Royal Striped Pajamas.
Great. Fantastic. Oh my fucking! Is there any other film composer you want to mention? Anyone else you want to give a shout out?
Don't
We
come
should-
on my head. Don't come to my head.
They'll come into your they'll come in your head eventually. Great.
Hilger Guggenkir. It's an Icelandic name. I don't know how to pronounce it. Was she the Joker?
Oh yeah, look. Damn, good stuff. We should ask if they should come on the podcast. We should ask John Murphy if they want to hop on.
And then there's this one did. Fuck. Hang on. He did Oppenheimer. He did
Well, that's
Kenneth Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Uh,
This is a peak podcast, by the way. We're just on our phones right now. The listeners can do whatever.
Ludwig Göransson. That's it. Ludwig Göransson. He also did Mandalorian.
Yeah. Real.
Oh, John Gabney.
Just when I think it's over, there's just another fucking guy. It's like the mafia. Whenever you're in debt, you might be able to get rid of the first debt collector, but they just keep coming, man. It's just a never-ending cycle, bro.
What can I say?
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, Sam Pollock. And Clint Eastwood himself.
Like from Ryan Gosling. There's probably even no relation between the two. And he's just like, oh, Sam Pollock. Yeah.
Sorry, go on. Oh, Christopher
like-
Young. That's normal. Okay, alright, I'll stop.
No way you're not fucking with me right now.
Alright,
Like,
that's it.
Christopher Young. Next to it'll be like fucking, John Goodman. Fucking.
That's it, go on.
Is it though?
Yeah, no.
Is it?
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It is. Go on. I interrupted you. Say what you want to say. Go on. Go on.
I don't know. I just said.
Stop wasting time. Just say it. Go on.
I know you're waiting for it, dude.
Go on.
Okay, all right.
Go on.
All right, Ryan Gosling. He's kind of peak. He's me for real on God. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm gonna be real, right? I've said this before. Probably not on the podcast, but I've said this before IRL. People keep saying like, oh, fucking Ryan Reynolds, like, oh, like he's basically like he's like the one guy who's like, listen, I'm straight, but like, damn, he kind of find out. I don't see it that much. He's definitely great, but I don't think he's like, this is like the pinnacle of like even straight guys like him. I think that's Ryan Gosling. I think for all my money, all the bananas, all the little chips in my bag, that's who it is.
Yeah.
I just think I just don't think it's Reynolds. I don't know what it is. I don't have like a specific sort of main reason, like a set of guidelines or stipulations as to why it's Gosling over Reynolds. I just don't think it's Reynolds. I don't think like I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I think he's just missing something.
I mean, yeah. Deadpool, great and all, but like, that's kind of all he has.
Not even in terms of like. Well, I mean, suppose in roles as well. Actually, yeah, because I haven't seen Reynolds in like anything. I mean, okay, from what I know off the top of my head, he's in Deadpool. He's in Detective Pikachu. That's it. I literally can't think of anything else.
He's in GPG. Come on, Department. Hold on. This film was canned, but like I thought it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah. I just remembered he's in really two really superhero movies.
Green Lantern.
X-Men Orange is Green Lantern. I'm so sad the Green Lantern movie is shit because like that's probably like the biggest exposure Green Lantern will get, and it's just fucked now. Man. Yeah. That's another thing though. Like there's a lot of superhero shows like even before like shit like The Boys and Invincible came out, they were like peak. Like there's like I know it's like the DC like the Batman animated series and like the Justice League one.
R.I.P.D. like ripped.
Yeah, ripped.
Or rest in peace department.
I'm just thinking though. I don't know if you would have seen. I think it's probably only me and maybe Mysterious Other Brother. But there was a Green Lantern show that was done in the same sort of way that like Star Wars: The Clone Wars is done. Genuinely peak. Like I saw that when I was like 6 or 7. I was really young, but even whenever I was watching, I was like, "This is worth my time. I'm sitting down and like giving some good attention to this." And much like most shows today, it just sort of got cut off before anything interesting happened. I think the cliffhanger was like Sinestro got the yellow ring, and that was kind of it.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame, bro. I wanted that. They took it away from us.
Do
I
you
think
think
that's the
how we
problem with most
took
shows.
away all your time from this podcast?
Yeah, exactly. Just like how we fleeced all your time with this podcast. You know what I will say though? Some like just in terms of like show revivals, some work and some just like don't. Like there's times where you're like, oh, I think this show should be brought back, and it's either like it was like okay, or like this is amazing, or it's like this should have stayed dead. I hate every second of this. I should have never said anything ever at all. I think I think like Samurai Jack was definitely like it was necessary. I think it sort of wrapped a neat little bow around like the show. I think that was a great thing that they did. Powerpuff Girls, no, that
Regular
should
show,
stay dead.
yes.
Yeah, regular show. I don't even think regular show should continue. I think
Here.
no, I think it ran its course. It's done all that it needed to do.
No.
6 seasons of peak. Let's not bring it back. Let's be real, man.
Simpsons
2025,
definitely.
man. Yeah,
Simpsons
sit down.
definitely.
I think I got this from Emperor Lemon, and I think he put it very well. It's a show about America, but it's a show about America in the 90s. It should not have survived this long. The fact that it has, it's sort of a testament to how fucking like money hungry everybody is.
Well, when it's technically under Disney's belt, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah. That's another thing he said. Like, it's so ironic that, especially with Family Guy as well, two shows that criticize the shit out of Disney and they're like money fucking hungry.
And yet they follow that party.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're now owned by that master. They can't do shit. They now have to like suck and kiss the toes of the mouse.
Seth MacFarlane made a show essentially mocking woke ideology. That's part Democrat Party, mind you. And guess what?
Wait, what show was that?
Family Guy.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
And
Fair.
guess what? He's a Democrat himself.
Yeah.
Making
Well,
fun
I
of his own
suppose-
party.
I mean, yeah. Isn't that kind of a good thing, though?
Yeah.
You say that like it's kind of like a weird or a bad thing. I'd say, given the kind of landscape now, that's kind of a blessed thing to say.
I mean, okay, I guess that's him basically saying, yeah, there's a lot of stuff wrong with our party.
I mean, yeah, because imagine it was just like the other extreme, where it's just like he was a Democrat and never made fun of Democrats ever.
Well, I mean, I know they've definitely made fun of the Republican Party as well.
Yeah.
That also has its fair share of issues.
Yeah. I feel like a show that is allowed to make fun of everybody is going to be a show that's peak.
South Park.
Like, okay, don't get me wrong. Like, the writing still has to be good. You can't just, like, take the piss out of everybody and, like, not know what the hell you're doing with it. You still have to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Or you can just go balls to the wall like Postal and just you know, say, like, throw caution to the wind. Just be as edgy as possible. But even still, I still think, like, Postal had some magic around it where it didn't just work effortlessly. There was some secret ingredient that made all of it work. Also, there's a Postal movie. Peak fiction, guys.
What about
Peak
South
fiction,
Park?
guys. South Park. I think, yeah. South Park, I think they said there's like dark times for like South Park. Like there's points where like it wasn't as funny. I never really noticed them, but to be fair, I haven't been watching South Park as much
There
as
were.
other people may have.
Apparently season 3 confused skip.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, now
Fair.
it's kinda come back
Going
up.
back up.
Oh, well, that's what I was gonna say.
Dementia.
No. No.
He can't
South
remember,
Park.
he forgore.
South Park. What came after South Park? Fuck me. No, keep going. It'll come back to me.
Right. You know, going back over, this is gonna like completely sideline this topic, so this is gonna confuse him even more, so he can't actually remember what he was talking about. But I think just going back to video games, and I think just the whole thing, the whole point of immersion is, I think just in general, video games can tell stories that movies just can't. Like, or at least not as well. Like, I think, like in terms of like stories like sort of Postal, Hotline Miami, Katana Zero, that sort of stuff with like the whole thing of like violence and how far it should go and sort of what it can do to the human mind. I think the one that came closest to that is sort of like all quiet on the Western Front. But even then, that was like more about a thing about war as opposed to just like wanton like killing and murdering, and that, like as opposed to like just violence in the general sense.
I take it you never play Valiant Hearts, Great War, or The Walking Dead.
I still think that was more so a war thing than rather than just violence as a whole.
I
And,
know,
like,
but you don't
sociopathy.
you don't reenact the violence in that. That's the only difference.
Yeah, that's what I mean though, because like with like shit like Postal in particular, it's very like I wouldn't say in your face, but it's very like sort of oppressive. Like you're out here committing the violence, and you really get into it. Like even if you're not like a particularly like even if you're not like a complete maniac like I am, like you can find yourself like really getting into it. Like each time you die, you sort of get more feverish, like more frantic. You sort of like like almost feral, and it becomes like so blinding. And then by the time you're finished with the area, this is more Hotline Miami as opposed to Postal. But it eventually gets to a point. You finally kill the last guy in the building. Everything stops. There's this weird sort of droning ambience afterwards, and you have to like walk out of the building. Everyone's like bodies everywhere. I think that does more than most movies about war do. Of like just like saying like how fucked up violence is. Because rather than just like you're watching someone else doing it, you can't. You know it's bad, but your brain doesn't click it. But when you're done with Hotline Miami, you did that. You try and walk through and you try to like pretend like oh okay you know it's just a game. You did that.
Well, Grand Theft Auto 5, will that be one as well?
Not as much because I think with GTA, it's not trying to teach you. It's not trying to do like this sort of like psychoanalysis of like. It's not trying to be. The theme isn't really so much about like violence in like video games and just violence
Corruption,
in general.
really.
Yeah, it's more like GTA. I think the most serious GTA ever was like GTA 4, but I think most of the time it's a satirical take on America as a whole. It's sort of like The Simpsons, but if it was a game, and if like you were playing as like what's his name, Snake. Yeah, that's it. I think that's his name. It's the criminal guy in The Simpsons. I can't remember his name. I think that's what GTA is. I think the most like deep and nuanced it ever got was GTA 4, and that's sort of it. Like people will make like sort of like things like saying like the story of like San Andreas was really deep, even which I can kind of see, but like not really. And then they say like stuff like, oh yeah, but no, Vice City was like a really great story. Not really, mate. I'm gonna be real. Like I've looked at the stuff. I've looked at it, and I couldn't really give a rat's ass. Vice City was basically just I don't know like Scarface but weird.
Like, one thing I agree, one decision that Ubisoft made with Valiant Hearts is that they avoided making it into a shooter, mainly because if they added shooting elements to it, then all you really care about is like being able to kill and not like what's going on around you, because it completely like makes you lose focus on what's going around, especially with your character.
Yeah.
And so when we look to Call of Duty World War Two, did you even give a shit about the story, or did you give a shit about the?
Yeah. I get where they're coming from. I still think it's a flimsy argument because again, stuff like Postal and Hotline Miami, they managed to make that work. It's a difficult balancing act, I will say, but they made it work. They can make the sort of because they're saying like you don't care about like the stuff going on around. What would you mean by that specifically?
Okay, wait, can repeat.
So you said like you're saying like if it became like a shooter, if there was violence, and you were saying like if you had like shooting, that's all people care about. They'd stop paying attention to the shit all around them. What do you mean by that?
Well, because like, let's say when you're getting a Call of Duty game, what are you expecting more of? Anything.
But yeah, okay. So you're expecting to go in and like kill people, but you could say that for any game that has guns or is a shooter.
Yeah.
That's what you're anticipating.
Well, because like if it was me, and all I wanted to do was just focus on the murdering aspect, then like what's the point is like about thinking of the story and what's going around?
Yeah, I still think. Again, like I know I keep saying like Hotline Miami and like Postal and like never really adding any sort of information, but I feel like you can have violence and make it more deeper and impactful. Make these sort of because the way those would work.
Okay, so how did Postal accomplish it then?
Okay. So this is in the context of Postal 1, right? So from the intro, like literally like the first thing you see when you boot up the game. Yeah, right. Inside joke. Basically, you're greeted with like this horrifying like sort of this screen of like just a mouth stretched open, a giant pile of skulls everywhere, and then like this sort of shadowy figure in the distance you can't make out of. And the music, it's not even music, it's just like guttural
Uh,
screams and like this weird ambience.
you know what? That's one way of looking at it, because one thing Call of Duty doesn't take into account are the visuals and like sort of like the layout. And the
Yeah.
sound design especially. I think sound
Sound
design is
design.
also very important.
Yeah,
Cause think
that's
about
what
it.
it's missing.
Cause think about it, right? And let's be real, it's no argument that for every gun sound that comes out of a gun in Call of Duty, it's nothing but drum machines.
Yeah.
Like you don't even need to be a expert or a musician. You just know it's the sound of a drum.
Yeah. But not even just that. I think it's just sort of Call of Duty in particular, I think with World War II, they kept making war this sort of grand thing. You have like these big booming orchestras and
Yeah,
everyone's like acting all proudly. No, it doesn't seem
that's
like
enough.
war is this scary thing. It feels like it's just another Call of Duty, but instead of like, oh, it's
Where
like Captain Price.
it's all fun games and stuff.
Yeah, it's just about like, oh, get from point A to point B. You should make it feel like this is a very daunting, scary thing. Postal does this, Holland Miami does this.
And
Because in
Valiant
both,
Hearts does this as well, yeah.
yeah, there should always like if you're making a game about war or like just like grand levels of violence, there should always be this sense of dread, kind of like a bit like it's a horror game. Like it's like you still have a chance at fighting. You have a gun. You can realistically get through the game, but it's not going to be easy, and that's the thing about war because it never is easy. The chances of you surviving are very low, and the player should feel that.
Yeah, in World War Two, Call of Duty World War Two, it was historically accurate, but I felt nothing from it.
Yeah. Yeah, like for a thing being historically accurate, I feel like I should have been a bit fucked up playing it. Like I feel like it didn't really like I think the most intense the game got was one of the characters like gets stabbed and then like the soldier tries to kill you
Zussman.
as well.
Yeah, Zussman.
Yeah. And then you find him at the end of the game, like he's in a concentration camp or something, and he's barely left. I think it would have been more
Yeah,
impactful if he got there
and
and
he
he
was
was
dead.
too late.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Zussman died. I think that would have made more sense.
It,
I
it was
think
it
that
was very cliche, like, oh, you get saved in the end.
yeah, look, that's my main problem. I think of the main character's squad, only one like person died.
It's like acting as if everything all worked out, everyone was okay in the end. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
there were 56 or 55 million deaths in World War Two, so how can you say that everything was fine?
Yeah, I think they should have done, in Outlast, but probably the best horror game out there. No, not even probably. It is the best horror game, right? And over time, there are sort of gradual changes that you go further and further into the asylum. Like your notes become more like sort of like schizophrenic and manic. You lose your fingers because your boy, and your camera gets cracked. That's what should happen. Like over time, like maybe you get injuries, like you get like some scrapes on your arms or some
Yeah.
shit. Like maybe your fingers get blown off. Maybe the noises and like the sort of way he speaks that should change. I think also like maybe a squad should just die.
But
But
With Outlast 2, you were kind of already schizophrenic. It's like, okay, well,
yeah, and I know from like a writing and timing perspective, this is a very hard thing to pull off. Like I should know, like writing is not as easy as 1, 2, 3. You
no.
have to sort of pull things off and almost like not even natural, but like make it seem like it was seamless.
It's like mathematics. All the numbers are there. Add them up, subtract them. And if you can't do that, well then, you're fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Like not everything is going to play out the exact same. Not everything is going to follow the same formula and rhythm. But you should still make sure that what you're doing has a formula or rhythm. There should be something to refer back to when you're writing or setting something up. Like if your sound design is all over the place, if your story it feels kind of aimless and nothing really matters, no one's really gonna give a shit.
Yeah.
So I feel like don't get me wrong, sometimes people just want to play a game and like not really care about anything else. Like that it definitely is a thing. Like
I
I
mean,
don't think anyone no, like no one's hopping on Fortnite because like, oh wow, the fucking the sound direction of this, the art is amazing. Like no, people hop on Fortnite
It's all
because it's fucking
cartoonish.
yeah, it's easy, mindless fun. You can see Vegeta hit the gritty, and then Master Chief does like fucking he hits the Nene or some shit. I don't fucking know. Point is, not everyone hops on the game for the same reasons. Like even some of the time, I'm not hopping on like some shit like Pizza Tower. I'm thinking like, wow, this is truly a testament of artistic creativity. I just want to hop on and have a bit of fun.
And it's like with films, like you don't go to a certain film just to be entertained. You go there maybe to be taught about something.
Yeah, like the same opposite principles can apply. Not everything is mindless entertainment, just in the same way that not everything is this big, deep, like nuanced thing. It's important to have a mix of both, but generally speaking, I think more often than not, you should be aiming for the more sophisticated side.
Like, for the video game side, it'll be Valiant Tark Great War. For the film side, it'll be Sound of Freedom.
Yeah. Like to each their own. Like I get that like some people, they don't want to be like challenged. They want to feel like more comfy. Honestly, I just say fuck that. Like there's no point in like always staying in your comfort zone. Like as far as like okay, like maybe like trying new thing. I'm not saying like go outside today, pick up a bit of skydiving, but don't leave the parachute on the plane. Just hope that you can grab onto someone. I'm not saying like drastic as that, but I feel like if you're playing the same shit, if you're watching the same shit, hell, if you're reading the same shit over and over, branch out, even if it's a little bit, even if it turns out to be complete dog shit. I've experienced this myself. Like, don't get me wrong. If say like you buy a new game, right? Say, okay, you buy Sonic Forces when it comes out, you don't think it's going to be shit as people think it is, and you give it a try. And if it does suck, well, now you know it sucks. You should be able to broaden your horizons. And honestly, the more dog shit you experience, the less likely you are to experience it in the future. Because if you pick up on it that it's dog shit, you're gonna be more repelled on it. You might be able to pick it up earlier in the future and be like, okay, stay away from you. I know you suck. This might be worth my time though. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, look what happened with Pokemon Sword and Shield, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Hashtag Game Freak Live.
Yeah, I mean to be fair though, Pokemon, with the exception of like the Legends games, that has been the same since 1991. So
well, but it ain't changing because like it'll be more Pokemon, more. I know it sounds dumb, but like people are gonna keep buying this. But funny enough, Pokemon Scarlet Violet was the least successful game, both financially and critically.
Yeah.
And it's mostly down to Game Freak's marketing, because like they are the worst when it comes to their marketing.
Yeah. Isn't that like most of the trailers I see for the games are basically the same thing over and over again? Like it's almost like they have like a template for how to announce like a new mainline Pokemon game. I'm just like, okay, it's just the same shit as before.
It's like they show a few seconds of a new Pokemon. Great.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like what people should do is they should look through all the Pokemon games and pick one and just play that one. And that should be your Pokemon experience. Don't get all the other games. If you get one game, you basically have them all. Like a lot of people are saying, like I'd say either like the Gen 6 games are pretty good. Maybe you pick up one of them. Pokemon Platinum's probably, they say it's like that's one of the best Pokemon experiences. That's why it's like so expensive to get online as well, because it's just apparently the greatest fucking thing of all time.
That's why I went to Pokemon 3DS store before. Well, I know there's the H store now because someone made it before Nintendo closed the eShop, but I still went and got them anyway on the eShop.
Yeah, I think that's the that's another thing I don't get, right? I think preservation of art is probably like one of the most important things, because they say like
it shows us where we are today with the art.
Yeah, it's like an important thing for like that person's legacy. Other people can see it, and I think it's just a good thing to do. It's also like we can learn. Yeah, we can learn from it. Keep looking back on it. The best kinds of art are the ones you can always look back on and be like, yes, that was worth. That was whoever did that. They did a great job, and I'm glad they did that. So it sucks. Like, okay, like this is more so. You kind of see this. Like you mostly see this with video games. With movies and books, like it's a bit more common with movies, but with books you don't really see it as much. But like Nintendo especially, I don't see why they are so against preservation, at least these days. because they don't re-release. They could re-release all their shit if
And
they
they
wanted
could
to,
make
but
a
they
bank
don't.
off it, yeah.
They could quite literally be one of the richest game studios like ever. And all they would have to do is just resell the same shit. Like for as much smack as we talked Mario 3D All Stars, that game still did pretty fucking well. I say that game. It's just 3 re-releases of
Yeah.
the same thing onto one cartridge, and that made so much for them. I think.
Yeah.
Like, if that's how much like those 3 games could make on the one thing, they could do that with all of them. They practically are already. They did it with the Donkey Kong games. They're doing it with some of the Metroid games. They did it with Zelda games. Like,
Look-
they sell them at full price as well.
Look at Capcom, they're now making remakes of every game, and look how well they're doing.
Exactly. Like, all you have to do. Sometimes it's as simple as, like, I remember Donkey was saying this. Sometimes it's as simple as just putting a HD coat on it, make the screen a bit better, just optimize it visually a bit. You don't have to really change the mechanics most of the time. Most of the companies don't even do that. And it's just boom. It's like the perfect way to experience the game. You have done so little, and yet people will thank you for it, even if you couldn't give a shit. But that's my problem. Nintendo doesn't do it, and for some reason they won't do it, even though it'll make them so much goddamn money. And like my problem is you can't get mad at people for emulating your shit when the only alternative is for them to spend hundreds, if not thousands, going online, like buying the original console, then buying the game, and then having to hook it up to your TV, and it probably won't even work that good because you're playing on a decade-old console.
Buying so many parts to even get to connect to a TV, like, George had to buy an AV adapter, a HDMI adapter, like, to even, and like, for even the controller and the console itself.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem. Like the only reason you should be doing all that is because if you're a massive nerd who wants to experience it the original way. But for people who just want to like just play the game, that shouldn't be what they have to do. That should be on the eShop or something readily available. They can pay $60 for. They can just wait for it to download, and then they're playing it on the Switch with the quality it gives. That's what should happen. But Nintendo doesn't want that. But my problem is, why is Nintendo so against emulation when buying all this shit on Amazon or eBay, the money doesn't come back to them. The revenue doesn't come back to them. It goes to Kex, it goes to Amazon, it comes to whatever third party is selling it. The money will never return to Nintendo for a 20-year-old GameCube game. Like, I went through, like, all the hassle I had to go through, because Mysterious Other Brother, he had to spend a lot of money just to get the GameCube to play Smash Melee. He wasn't even thinking of like playing any other game. It was just Melee. And then imagine that, but you want to play something like, I don't know, Wario World or like fucking Sunshine or fucking Mario Kart Double Dash. This shit should be on the Switch already. It should have been on the Wii, to be honest.
Anyway, my last thing I should ask is, so back to what we were talking at the very start, because that's what it's meant to be about. Yeah, this is my last one. Favorite animated movie, and tell me why you like it, since we're talking about art here. Or is that too hard?
No, I can think of it eventually. Fuck. I think I'll just say like Spider-Verse, like the second Spider-Verse movie.
Across?
Yeah, Across. Yeah. I think I still think that like shit like Kung Fu Panda and like the second Puss in Boots, they're like absolute bangers. But I just think Spider-Verse like sort of got me back into Spider-Man. I think it's a very like visually it's beautiful. I think the writing is just amazing. It kind of it has that, you know, the way we'd be watching the YouTube poops of like Spider-Man, like with the Tobey Maguire ones. Like it had that same sort of energy and charm, and I love that. It's sort of like cheesy and corny in parts, but not too corny. It's great. And it's so memeable as well. Like like the rest of the world goes crazy about them. I think even as a writing thing, they like the team was put under like immense like stress and pressure, and it probably sucked ass for all of them. But I think like as shit as it was for them, it was completely worth it in the end because what they have made is genuinely one of like the best like bits of like film I've ever seen, and I can only hope that like they're doing okay like as they work on like part 3. Like they take as long as they need. Like if I'm 35 by the time I'm seeing that, it'll been worth the wait.
Well, my favorite animated movie is The Iron Giant.
Real.
It'll never like not be good. It was Brad Bird's first film to direct after being a storyboard person for The Simpsons.
Nice.
and then going on to Pixar. Uh, just literally everything about the Iron Giant, the voice acting, how authentic it is, and then the expressions. They're constantly making expressions. Like, there's never a time that the expression stays the same.
Yeah, it's always like squash and stretch. It's like really expressive as well. It just looks so good.
And the
It always
animation
gives
is
you a
just
warm
so
feeling.
smooth. It's just such a shame that Warner Brothers didn't market it as well, because there was an animated movie they made previously called Quest for Camelot, in which apparently the story wasn't as good, the animation also wasn't as good.
I think I remember seeing that, but I'm not too sure. Was that a Disney one or no?
You know, with Warner Brothers.
I wonder.
And the Iron Giant was also a Warner Brothers movie. Uh, and like even the characters themselves, like how Brad and just the mere fact that the whole story was being like everything about it, the theme was all based off Brad Bird's sister's death, makes it even more emotional. Because like he tried to like make out as if what if the gun being the Iron Giant had a conscience and was it to be used for good and not bad.
Yeah.
So like hence why the ending ended off the way it did.
Yeah. So sad. Yes.
But I'm glad that it deserves praise because even
It's
the
a banger.
story, yeah, the story was great. So
Yeah. It's also like very entertaining. Like even as a kid, I was watching this and it felt like this is very like it felt very smart with its humor, and I was sort of appreciating that. Like it was an animated movie, so obviously you have to appeal to kids, but I felt like a bit. This might sound bad, but like I felt like a bit like more mature watching it. Like I felt like yes, like I felt like I was like smoking
it's
a pipe. It felt
it's
very fancy
definitely
watching it
definitely
almost.
enjoyable for adults as well.
Yeah, like it's one of the goated movies where like literally anyone could watch it at any point in their life, and you will more than likely enjoy it.
Even a toddler.
Yeah. Like okay, like a toddler's not really gonna like care about it, but you could if you really wanted to. I'd say yeah, put your toddler in front of the Iron Giant. Don't fucking subject them to Coco Melon or whatever fucking dog shit brain rot they got. But make them watch Peak,
But
and they
like
will thank you for it.
at the time, I wouldn't have teared up to like moments like let's say that SpongeBob, the first SpongeBob movie, like where SpongeBob and Patrick cried out in
Yeah,
that.
Goofy
Yeah,
Goober.
so it's like I didn't feel anything back then because I didn't quite understand it. But now,
Yeah.
years later, when I think, and someone pointed out, this must be a message from Steven Hillenberg, who was once a marine biology teacher
Yeah.
before he made SpongeBob. It's like he made it as a message to say that making living, breathing animals into knickknacks is wrong. Like, it's okay if it's just like shells to find on the beach, but if you're doing it to living things, that's when
Yeah.
it's just really fucked up.
Yeah.
And that's what made it very, very sad.
Yeah, I think it was just like the readiness of them like dying. It was sort of like Toy Story 3.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
where
like
they're all
it's
like
like
they're all
building
holding
up.
hands.
Yeah,
They're
no.
kind of ready for it.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
what makes it sad is if it's like building up, building up, building up, you start crying.
Yeah. Like they're like sort of ready. Like they're singing like the dumbass song and like sort of near the beginning of the movie as they literally die. And I know it's kind of
Yeah.
humorous because you even got like the pirates like fucking crying in the audience.
Yeah.
So it's not meant to be like really emotional, but it's like damn. Yeah. And also another thing is like it's sort of like a post production sort of sadness thing because like the ending of the movie and like again this is like a sort of a thing that Emperor Lemon brought up. I think it was him. I don't know. It was probably some really genius man on YouTube. But I think like some people contest like it's either the episode where Squidward wins the contest, like the competition, that thing of like the music, that could have been the ending. But I still do think that like the movie is probably where it should have ended. I think everything sort of wraps up. SpongeBob finally gets what he wants. He gets the respect and admiration he's been looking for so long. Squidward's happy. He already won the competition. He's kind of ready. I feel like, and it's sort of sad because when you look back on that movie after the ending, it never ended. The series went on forever, even though like Hillenberg wanted to end of the movie. So it's kind of like it's more like an existential thing afterwards, where you're just like, damn, we're never gonna have this ending, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, Iron Giant for me, that's all it is.
Sick.
Anything else?
I mean, there is probably more I can get into, but like I think like how long have we been here for? Like it's like in and around an hour, innit?
An hour and a half.
Fucking hell. This is probably the longest one we've done.
Sorry, guys, give me please of your time, so I think we'll stop it here.
Yeah, uncharacteristically, we're feeling bad. We fleeced too much. Shit.
Alright,
It's like
well,
reverse fleecing.
well, that'll be it for this episode, guys. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you. Wait, 3 more examples. Mark Morningstar, Michael Cameron, and Andrew Lockington.
For fuck's sake.
See you later.
You fucking...